DSW, Designer Shoe Warehouse, is the one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW has what you need, but more importantly, they have what you didn't even know you wanted. You never know what you'll find at DSW. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
If your roof starts to leak or your floors really squeak, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
The Money Pit is presented by Ladera by Pavestone. Now here's Leslie Segretti.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segretti, and joining me in his coziest fall sweater is Jim Kenzie. I love your jumper, sir. He's the best producer in all of home improvement. Jim, how's your fall going?
I'm the best producer you're listening to at the moment. I can say that.
No, you're the best producer I've worked with in home improvement. I'm very thankful for you.
Wow. Coming from you, that means something. Thanks, Leslie.
I'm very thankful for you.
Yeah, you're okay. You're not half bad yourself.
So how's your fall going? What's going on out there?
Oh, man, I've been doing some outside stuff. Finished a fence project I have on a generator setup and just a little stuff like that. So replacing some siding, actually. Had a couple of pieces blow off. So I got to look up that original installer and have a word with him.
That would be you, I'm sure. And then you have to yell yourself.
Pretty close, but no. I observed.
Well, there's always so much to take care of, and this is really kind of the best time of year to do so because the weather's kind of perfect just before winter rolls in. So you do want to make sure that you tackle a lot of projects indoors and out just so that you can get it done and you can enjoy the holidays with ease. So let's get right to it. You know, as the leaves are falling, your trees need a little attention too. So we're going to walk you through exactly what you should be looking for, from dead limbs to dangerous overhangs, and share the best ways to trim and tidy or just take down a troubled tree. Fall is the perfect time to prep those trees for a beautiful, safe season ahead. And if you think you're just living in your home, well, think again. You could be sitting on a gold mine. We're going to break down how decades of appreciation and mortgage payments have left many longtime homeowners with some serious equity. So we're talking six figures here sometimes of untapped value, and we'll show you how to put that to good use. And if you're looking to give your home a fresh fall feel without a full-blown reno, we're going to break down the hottest Pinterest design trends for fall 2025, from cozy cubicle makeovers to bold statement tiles and a glam Art Deco comeback. Whether you are decorating even your desk area or a dining room, these are easy updates that will turn your everyday space into something truly inspiring. So we've got a lot to tackle this fall season, so let's get to it. Give us a call right now at 888-MONEY-PIT. Jim, who's up first?
All right, Leslie, we're heading out to Pennsylvania with Beth, and sadly, she has a contractor issue with a project that went kind of sideways. What happened, Beth?
I had a home fire. I hired a contractor my insurance recommended, and the contractor, he trashed my home. It was a build down to the studs. He ruined my house, and then he walked off the job. He took all my paint materials. He took all the screens from the windows, and it's an awful story. Where do I get help?
Wow. Oh, my God, Beth, that's a terrible story. I mean, I can't 100% say, but I'm pretty sure Pennsylvania does not license home improvement contractors. So this is kind of what happens in those areas. When they're not licensed, there's really no way that you can have leverage on top of this contractor. However, one thing that you said strikes us here as an opportunity. You said he took the materials from your job site that you had paid for. So that is theft. And if he takes materials or money from you and doesn't complete that work, then you may very well be able to file a theft complaint with your local police department and then pressure that contractor for the theft. And, you know, it's very powerful because contractors, you know, they'll happily ignore you and not seem to care about their reputation because there's another person who will say, yeah, I'll sign you up for the job because they don't know the whole story. But when there's theft on complaint sort of on their record, it really changes their tune quickly. So I would kind of start there if you've exhausted every effort to communicate and contact and reach out to this person. You know, it's just sucky. There's some bad people out there, and I hate to say you got one, so let's try to fix it. But I would definitely start with the police and get some folks on your side who can help you in a variety of ways that you as the average citizen can't. So you've got the theft, you've got the receipts, you've got the contract or whatever that says I paid for X materials, and now where are they?
And you've got a Yelp review potential. You could, retract if he came and did the job, finished it up, squared up with you.
I mean, I don't even know if I'd want this person to come and finish the job.
Well, I'm saying in general, you got Yelp as some kind of reach out to let other people in your community know this guy.
And social media, by the way, is like...
Well, yeah. I mean, that's basically where I was heading.
So good luck with that. I'm so sorry that happened. All right, Beth. I hope this has a very happy ending for you, okay?
See, I could read the post now. This is Jerry. Here's his home number. Here's what he did to me and my family. Reach out at 3 a.m., Tim.
Jerry's the best contractor out there. He loves communicating between the hours of 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., which is mostly when I plan my home improvement projects. And I'm so glad he was up when I was.
You've reached a number that's been disconnected. About 3 days.
Right.
Heading out to beautiful West Virginia, we've got Randall on the line. What's going on, Randall?
Nothing a whole lot. I just got flooded about 5 months ago.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
The house was kind of tore up. So my question was, I've lived in this house for 24 years roughly, but the basement has never been vented, and I've never really had a problem with it. So should I vent it now?
Now, when you say basement, are we talking about a full basement or just a crawl space?
This is a full basement, but it's like half underground, half above ground.
Yeah, well, you don't have to vent a space like that. I mean, you could put vents in a crawl space, but not in a basement.
Yeah, it does feel a little damp occasionally.
All right, well, let's talk about that because the dampness is really what's the problem here. And there's a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you mentioned flooding. And if that happened during a heavy rainfall and you got more humidity, more dampness, or any kind of leak because of that rainfall, then everything has to do with the drainage around the house. So start with the gutters. You want to make sure they're clean. If they're not extended, those downspouts have to be away from the foundation, not just right up against on that little splash pad, but 6 feet away so that water is moving away from the foundation. You have to keep that water away as much as possible, and that will definitely have an impact on drying out that basement space. If you do want to dehumidify further, you could install a dehumidifier in the space. Now, there are sort of the portable kind where you kind of have to empty that tray that fills with water, but it seems like you're getting a lot of moisture down there. So there's more professional versions, heavy-duty ones where they can be suspended from a ceiling. They pull the moisture out based on a humidistat and then pump that water outside. And that definitely helps with the humidity issues. So it does help make a difference. And that moisture will make itself known if you are not handling what's going on outside. A solid dehumidifier and handling what's happening around the perimeter as far as drainage, that's the right step.
Okay. It just seemed a little damp down there. There was never any standing water or anything.
Yeah.
It just seemed damp when you go down there.
I hear you, but putting a vent is not going to change that. All right. Well, good luck with that project.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Money Pit Podcast fans, you want to help us out? Well, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we're going to give you a virtual high five. Plus, you'll be helping us spread the word about our show. Just go to moneypit.com/review. Well, fall is here, and we need to start getting everything in check for a healthy winter season in our homes. And as we head into the heating season, now is the perfect time to change those air filters in your HVAC system. A clean filter is going to help your system run more efficiently, cut down on dust, and improve your air quality, which matters more as we spend more time indoors. Bonus tip here, mark your calendar to check them monthly and replace every 60 to 90 days. Or more often if you've got some pets at home. It's a great tip to get in the habit of for a healthy home this winter season. All right, time to get back to helping you. Who's up next, Jim?
All right, we're going to head out to Tennessee, Leslie, where we've got Linda on the line. What's going on at your Money Pit, Linda? How can we help you?
Well, I rent a house. It's a real nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath with 3-car garage house. And I think it is 100 years old, although they've updated it. But lately, in both toilets and in the sink in the bathroom, black particles are coming out of the water, especially with the bathroom sink, if I put my hand up, because the water coming out is coming out in weird things, like it's being blocked.
Okay.
I assume that those are from the pipes in this old house, but it just started to be really bad I've been here for almost 2 years, and only the last couple of months has it happened.
All right, well, I don't know whether to try to put a filter on. I mean, is this a well system? Do you have a private well, or are you on the city water?
I think it's city water.
Yeah, I mean, you would know if you had a well system. And the plumbing in the house, do you know what kind of pipes you have, copper or steel?
I don't know. I do know, like I said, that this is a really old house.
I mean, generally, the first plumbing system would have had to have been galvanized steel, and then hopefully it was updated throughout the years to copper. The first question is, though, is it coming from inside of the house, or is it coming from the city water supply?
Well, I kind of doubt it'd be the city water supply.
Well, I mean, why would you say that? Because they get debris in their lines, too, all the time.
Well, I've lived here for 15 years, and I lived in a 100-year-old farmhouse, a different one. We had a little tiny bit of that, but not anything like this.
Yeah, I mean, just because it wasn't happening before doesn't mean that it couldn't be happening now, because conditions change. Even though it's been like that, it could change. So it is a possibility that it could be coming from the water supply from the city. If you wanted to filter your water, what you might want to do is use a whole house water filter, because that gets installed just after the main, where the water is coming into the house. And it basically treats all of that water that comes into the house. The filter will have to be replaced about every 6 months, which basically involves turning off the main water supply and then the valve next to the filter, so you don't have any water that drains back from the pipes up into the house. And then you replace that cartridge, and they'll tell you which one. You just stock up a couple so you have them on hand so you don't forget. I always like to write something like a piece of tape on that filter, like the next change date, so you don't forget. Have you started looking at the aerators in the bathroom sinks to see if there's a lot of yuck sort of trapped behind them, maybe some of this black stuff?
I'm pretty sure there is, because when I just rub there, big particles of black come out.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to see if you could get rid of all of the stuff that's behind the aerators at each of your sinks. So you'll just unscrew that at the base of the faucet. I kind of, when I take the aerator apart, I sort of move from right to left in the order that I take them out, so I know exactly how it goes back in, because sometimes there's a couple of little parts in there, and just clean those out and put everything back together. And between the whole house filtration and sort of cleaning these faucets at each source at the aerator, you should start to see a change in that water coming into the house. So this way, if it's from inside the fixtures and or coming from the city, you've kind of addressed all of it. And I know where we live, there's always concerns about the quality of water coming from the village. And so whole house water filters are just becoming more of the norm rather than sort of a splurge, just due to the conditions of things in the environment.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I hope that helps you out. Good luck with your project. Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. Well, as the fall begins and the leaves start to change, it's time to turn your attention to the towering giants in your yard. I'm not talking about your 17-year-old 6'3" son. I'm talking about your trees. Yeah, I got both of those things, trees and tall kids. Now, fall is hands down one of the best times to assess those trees' condition and make sure that they're going to weather the upcoming winter safely and beautifully. So let's start with why the fall is the perfect season for tree care. You know, after a long, hot summer, trees are kind of entering a dormant stage. They're going to slow down, and that makes it a safer time for trimming and pruning. There's also less sap flowing, which is going to reduce stress on the tree and minimize the mess on your hands. And with fewer bugs and diseases active, those cuts are less likely to lead to infection for the tree. So what should you be looking for? So let's just take a walk around the yard and inspect every tree. You're looking for dead or dying branches that cross or rub against each other, limbs that hang over the house, if they hang over a driveway or the power lines, or a tree that seems to be lopsided or even just leaning. Now, if you spot dead wood or cracked limbs, those should just come down immediately. They can easily break off in a fall windstorm or under the weight of heavy snow. And anything hanging over the roof or gutters should be trimmed back to avoid debris buildup or roof damage. Now, if your tree looks unhealthy, maybe there's some peeling bark or fungus or a noticeable lean, it might be time to bring in a certified arborist. They can just determine if that tree is diseased, if it's structurally unstable, or it just needs some corrective pruning. I mean, it might not be terrible for the tree, and they'll know. Now, for a younger tree on the property, don't forget to mulch. A fresh 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch around the base will help regulate soil temperature and hold in that moisture. You just want to be sure to keep that mulch a few inches away from the trunk. You know, we're not talking about this volcano of mulch that goes up the tree trunk. You just want a nice little mound around it. And one last tip. Don't overdo the pruning. Avoid removing more than 25% of the tree's canopy in one season. Over pruning can really stress the tree out, and that impacts its long-term health. So whether your trees just need a light cleanup or a full evaluation, fall is your window to act. Little effort now, you're going to be avoiding winter headaches and help your trees thrive when that spring weather comes back around again. All right, let's get back to you all. Who do we have next, Jim?
Gee, why would we want to go to Vermont, Leslie?
Because it's the best place. I love it so much. I mean, it's all because why not? The next caller's from there?
Well, I'm not going to tell you until I get through my professional voiceover announcer voice description.
All right, let's hear it.
We're going to head to Vermont now, Leslie, where skiing is always lovely.
Yes, it is.
We're going to Burlington to talk about a heat pump. Tell us what's going on there, Jerry.
I'm already there, Jerry. Tell me about it.
I have a oil system, oil hot air furnace.
All right.
Had a guy servicing it every fall for some years. And this last year, he was very big on, he said, I think you got to replace it, and there's some discount on heat pumps and all. He's very big on it. I've liked him, but I can't help but wonder how vested he is in it. And the main thing is, I think I heard somewhere, and that's why I'm calling you experts, in a Vermont winter, which can still get cold sometime, that heat pumps could be inadequate for the job.
I mean, you're also going to face the added expense of not only replacing the old oil furnace with a new one, but also having to abandon that tank in place or to dig it out. And it can be pretty expensive to do that.
Really expensive.
Yeah, and you have to do it. Like, you have to prove that it's been abandoned, especially if you have any intentions of moving anytime soon.
EPA.
Yeah. You have to follow the rules here. And being a Vermonter, I know that you will. Now, in terms of the heat pump technology, it's gotten a lot better. I mean, the heat pumps today use inverter technology, which makes them really efficient and gives them the ability to very slowly and surely adjust the amount of power that they're using and adjust the amount of heat that they're using based on the environment. So I do think that a heat pump system would work well in Vermont if it's an inverter heat pump system. Take a look at the LG Red technology. LG is the manufacturer. Red is what they call this new technology, and it's pretty impressive. But keep in mind, though, if you do make the change off of oil, you have to remove and replace the entire furnace. You're going to have to remove and permanently abandon that oil tank. And, of course, then there's testing involved to make sure that there hadn't been leaks and that sort of thing. So it is a tough decision, and I think I would try to figure out how long is it going to take me to kind of pay this off. off. Will I ever be able to recoup this investment in doing all this work? Or if I'm only going to be staying at this house for like 5 years, maybe not. But I would definitely get your contractor out, talk about this, look at the costs all across the board that are in, and then consider everything before you go forward, all right? And I'll see you on the slopes.
I bet you Jerry loves the show.
I think he does too.
Love the show.
I knew it.
Thanks, Jerry.
I'm Christian McCaffrey, pro running back, and Abercrombie is an official fashion partner of the NFL. I'm not kidding when I say NFL by Abercrombie broke the internet last year, and I think this season's lineup is even cooler. And so does my wife, who keeps stealing all my hoodies. Stay fit for the season and Abercrombie's newest arrivals. Shop NFL by Abercrombie in the app, online, and in store.
Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway driving takes the work out of being behind the wheel, allowing you to relax and reconnect, while also staying in control. Enjoy the drive in Blue Cruise-enabled vehicles like the F-150, Explorer, and Mustang Mach-E. Available feature on equipped vehicles. Terms apply. Does not replace safe driving. See Ford.com/Blue Cruise for more details.
Well, now that fall weather is becoming more of the norm across the U.S., we start to nest and we start to get cozy at home. But before those fireplaces fire up and the space heaters come out, you want to test your smoke alarms and your carbon monoxide detectors. Replace those batteries and make sure they're working properly, especially if your home uses gas heat or has a wood-burning stove. It's a super easy task. You could do it this weekend and it could save your life. And it only takes a few minutes to check right off your list. We've got more smart tips coming up, but first, you. Jim, who do we have up next? Well, if you've owned your home since, say, the 90s or even early 2000s, you could be sitting on a windfall and you might not even know it. According to new data from Realtor.com, homeowners who bought back when flip phones were a thing are now holding record levels of home equity. And that's the difference between what your home is worth and what you still owe on it. And for a lot of people, that number is huge. So let's break it down. A home bought in 1995, let's say, for just over $100,000 could be worth over 4 times that now. Even homes purchased as recently as 2005 are seeing massive appreciation, sometimes over $200,000 in added equity. And that's real money, not just numbers on paper. And it's not just a handful of lucky folks out there. Nearly half of all homeowners in the U.S. have been in their homes for more than 15 years, and 1 in 4 have been in place for over 25 years. Now, that long-term home ownership combined with rising home values and years of paying down that mortgage has created a kind of silent savings account. In fact, as of Q2 of 2025, U.S. home equity hit a record of $17.8 trillion. Yes, trillion with a T. And of that, over $11 trillion is considered tappable, meaning it's available for homeowners to borrow against without cutting too close to their home's appraised value. So what can you do with all of that equity? You could explore a cash out refinance, especially if you're still sitting on a relatively low interest rate. You could get a home equity loan or a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, and that lets you fund renovations or tuition. I mean, this is what I'm doing for college. I'm hoping not to use it, but knowing that that HELOC is there and I have access to it is a tremendous peace of mind. Or you can even consolidate your debt. Now, if you're thinking about downsizing, you could sell and cash out using the proceeds to buy a smaller place outright and banking the rest. I mean, we're seeing sellers get strategic with their timing while the housing market has cooled, a little bit compared to the frenzy of the pandemic years. Listing a home with high equity can still be a major advantage. You can price competitively, you can attract picky buyers, and you will still walk away with a strong profit. And let's not forget that those who've owned their homes a long time often have a low mortgage or no mortgage at all, which gives you a lot of flexibility and freedom that newer homeowners just don't have yet. So if you've been in your home for decades, now could be the time to have a conversation with a real estate agent, run the numbers, and see if your home's equity can help you unlock your next move, whether that's retiring early, funding a renovation, or finally snagging that lake house. Well, this is all great news. I mean, at least the house is worth a lot more than you started with. So that's all awesome. And hopefully this helps me out with college. I know. It's a scary time, everybody. So look at what you've got. You could be helping yourself out in a great, great way. All right, let's get back to our listeners. Jim, who do we have up next?
Now, Leslie, we're going to communicate with Ed in Arkansas, who has a question about a fireplace and the fuel choice. What's going on, Ed?
My question is rather unorthodox. In parts of the country where there's lignite coal, this is one of them, is it safe? And I think it's kind of quietly practiced and people don't talk about it much. They maybe in their fireplace, say like even a prefab built-in fireplace or sometimes in wood stoves, people use lignite coal in a supplement fashion. And my question is that safe?
I don't know here, Ed. It's an interesting question for sure. One we've never gotten before, but the answer is definitely no. You should not be burning coal in a fireplace. I do know that coal fireplaces are actually built quite different than a wood burning fireplace. I mean, there's actually a lot of those in Victorian age houses. They're very tall, they're narrow because you don't need that much coal to generate a lot of heat. The problem is that if you try to burn coal in a regular fireplace, that draft isn't set up correctly. Coal will burn much hotter than wood, so it's potentially dangerous. Plus, it's caustic. I mean, it is a major fire hazard, but it is super duper duper bad for you. So you can absolutely not use it in a fireplace. While I understand that material is available, unless you specifically have a fireplace meant for burning coal, you should not be using it. And anything else other than wood for a wood fireplace, do not use. Stick with what works. Stick with the fuel that it's designed for. It's safer. It's safer for you. It's safer for the house all around. So that is a hard pass, Ed. Well, with cooler temps and fall breezes in the forecast, are you feeling a draft around your doors and windows? That might be your energy bill sneaking out. Well, we're trying to fix that because fall is the perfect time to inspect and replace warm weather stripping. It's affordable, it's easy to install, and it can make a big difference in keeping warm air in and cold air out. Now, this quick fix can save you up to 10% on your heating costs and make your home feel so much more cozy this season. Helpful tips and helping you. That's what we do here on The Money Pit. Well, if you've been scrolling Pinterest lately, you know one thing. Fall 2025 design is all about elevating your everyday spaces with comfort, creativity, and just the right dash of vintage glam. And whether you've got a whole house to play with or just the corner of your cubicle, these trends prove that a little style goes a long way. Well, the office return is in full swing and back to work is back in style. Pinterest searches for terms like work office makeover, cubicle decor, and luxe office are up more than 2,000%.
Wow.
And climbing. I mean, people are finally getting back to their offices and it shows. So people are taking those beige, blah office spaces and turning them into cozy, stylish reflections of their personality. So think soft lighting, framed art, wireless task lamps, even peel and stick wallpaper panels behind your monitor, or a plant or two. Boom, you've got a desk that you'll actually want to sit at. And whether you work at home or in the office, this trend is about making your workspace work for you. Now, next up, statement tiles. Tiles are going from supporting players to scene stealers this season, and not just in bathrooms or backsplashes. Pinterest users are loving bold vintage and even globally inspired looks like terracotta tile textures are up 833%. Mexican tile kitchen backsplashes up 380% on their searches. Copper tiles in bathrooms up 505%. And even striped tile bathrooms are up 444% in searches.
Wow.
I mean, this is huge jumps in numbers. It's no longer about blending in. It's about adding warmth, personality, texture. So if you have a blank wall behind your stove, a powder room that needs some love, or even just a shelf or fireplace surround that you want to make pop, now is the time to tile boldly. And Art Deco is having a major comeback, but with a modern twist. Searches for 1920s interior vintage, new Art Deco, and even 1980s Art Deco are all seeing a serious bump. This version of Deco blends old and new, so think bold geometry, glamorous lighting, rich textures, paired with soft neutrals or even moody, dramatic colors. You do not need to live in a Gatsby mansion to get that vibe. Just try a brass mirror, fluted cabinet doors, or even a statement light fixture with vintage flair. It's elegant, it's a little playful, and it is totally now. So whether you're tiling a niche, you're glamming up your desk, or adding deco drama to your dining room, this fall is all about personalizing your space to reflect your unique style while still staying cozy and practical as the seasons shift. And best of all, every one of these trends is totally doable. You do not need a renovation budget. Maybe just a free afternoon and a little creative spark. I mean, I love scrolling Pinterest just to see kind of what everyone is out there creating. It's great to see everyone share their takes on what's in this season and how we can help you craft that space of your dream. That's what we do here. So give us a call so we can help make that magic for you.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
Jim, who do we have next?
Thanks for that tip, Leslie, because I was just about to buy a Gatsby mansion. Thank you. You really helped me out there.
Gold Coast, here he comes. Daisy, what are you doing? You want to go look at a green light?
All right, Leslie. We're going to head out to Florida now. We've got Rich, who has a question about a safe insulation. Or is it a safe insulation?
Oh, the difference that a comma makes.
What's happening, Rich?
Yes, I'd like to put a hole in the foundation of the house to put a safe in. How do I break up the foundation? It's very hard.
All right. Yeah, I mean, for good reason, too. So when you say foundation, do you mean like an outside wall, or are you talking about a concrete floor?
A concrete floor.
All right. And you're in Florida, so we're talking about a slab, yes. Correct? All right. Well, do you know if there happens to be any plumbing running through that floor? Because I would imagine certainly somewhere you've got bathroom pipes, kitchen pipes, all of that kind of stuff running through that slab. And you certainly do run a risk that you could break something if you happen to do this in the wrong location.
Well, not that I know of. This is a closet.
All right, a closet. So, I mean, well, we're concerned really in those areas that could be like an outside wall.
No, it's behind the door.
All right, so it's sort of in the middle of your slab is what I'm getting here. It doesn't really matter what room it's in. I'm just trying to figure out what the risks would be of you running into some plumbing in the slab, for example.
I don't think there's any plumbing. What I was told is there might be some rebar or some metal screening. I'm worried about electrical wiring. I don't think there's anything in that area.
Yeah, and that's the thing with concrete is you really don't know. And I mean, the answer to your question is, you could use a concrete saw to get into it, but a concrete saw definitely is hard work, and it might seem like a good idea. It's not necessarily the only way, though, for you to secure that safe. I mean, you could bolt it onto the concrete instead of digging into it.
Like Tapcons, you thinking?
No, I mean, I imagine that a safe company would be like, this is what you need. It's probably like an Uber Tapcon.
Yeah, it's some weird head, not a standard head kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's probably super thick and, very specific type of threading or something that makes it so that it's tackling the correct job and the correct surface. So if it was me, I mean, I would, you're obviously looking at a certain safe. I would reach out to that manufacturer and say, hey, I want to put it on a concrete slab. I'm located in Florida. What is the right thing that I need? Is it a security bolt? Is there something else? Like, they'll tell you the right product for the installation because they want you to be safe. I mean, that's their whole reputation.
Right. I was supposed to do this when I built the house. I understand that.
All right. Yeah. Good luck with that. Definitely give them a call and see what the right type of tool is to secure that safely.
Okay, thank you very much, Hill.
You're more than welcome, Rich.
Time now to see what's going on our email inbox. We got a lot of you writing in, so let's see who's up at the top. Jim, what's going on?
This is my favorite part of the show, Les. We've got Lori, who reached out to the Money Pit team, and she says, we had a tub surround installed about 15 years ago, and the wood frame of the window has rotted away, and it looks horrid. I intend to have the whole thing torn out and redone next year, but I'd like to know if there's anything I can do, presently and quickly that's safe and relatively inexpensive for, even just a Band-Aid, an aesthetic fix.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that word too. Too many THs in there. And it's not even, it's one TH and a T, and I still go aesthetic. Yeah.
Tub surround.
All right, Lori. I mean, wood and water definitely don't mix, and it does sound like your frame eventually does need to be replaced, but rotted wood is quite common with these frames, and if the rotted area is limited, you can try filling it in. Now, you don't fill it with any type of wood filler. You want to get one specifically. It's by 3M, Bondo Solutions Wood Filler, I believe is what it's called. There's another one on the market by Abitron, and that one's called Wood Epox. Now, it's sort of a wood replacement compound, and once you make that repair, you do have to paint it so it doesn't get any worse. The other thing to think about once you've made that repair is let's try to just cover this area up a little bit to avoid further damage. I mean, you could put up a shower curtain. They are waterproof, and they do make sort of an inside and an outside shower curtain, waterproof-ish. So I would do that. I would sort of get a little tension rod to go in there and find a nice shower curtain that I like. And, obviously it's not going to be made to the size of your window because they're sort of standard shower sizes. But the best part is they're made out of materials that don't like fray or get weird edges, and you can kind of cut it to the right size. And I would give it a little bit more width of the window there just so you get a little bit of a gathered space. But that should do the trick, and it should buy you plenty of time. And I'm telling you, those wood replacement compounds do a great job. You will kind of have to scrape out or get rid of the stuff that's rotted, and then this sort of fills in that space and does a good job. You kind of sand it and paint it, and you are good to go. All right, Lori, good luck with that.
Now we've got Jennifer, who says, I'm thinking about replacing my windows. How can I tell a good window from a bad one? Good question.
Well, the first thing you want to look for is an Energy Star certification, and that's important because windows with that label, Jennifer, do show that they meet energy efficiency standards that are set by the government, and they are definitely designed to save energy. You also want to look for something called an NFRC label. That stands for the National Fenestration Rating Council, the NFRC, and that gives you an objective rating for that window's energy performance, and it will also include important ratings such as the U factor, the solar heat gain coefficient, visible transmittance, and air leakage. And those ratings really help you compare the energy efficiency of different windows. You also want to consider that window material. Good windows are often made from very durable materials that resist warping, rot, and corrosion. So vinyl, fiberglass, wood clad with aluminum, or vinyl, all good choices. Definitely things you want to look into. Check out their warranty as well. Windows are a good investment, and you want to make sure you go with the right one for your job and budget. Well, that wraps up this hour of this week's Money Pit. We kicked things off helping you boost your home's value by tapping into hidden equity. We took a deep dive into Pinterest's trendiest fall looks, from cubicle glow-ups to gorgeous vintage tiles, and served up some quick seasonal tips to get your home in top shape before the temperatures drop. Whether you're organizing, decorating, or maintaining, there's no better time to tackle those projects and head into fall feeling ahead of the game. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Money Pit. Remember, you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone. See you next time.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show.
Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888 Money Pit. Woo!